During a recent episode of the OGs podcast with Udonis Haslem and Mike Miller, UD talked about how important Chris Bosh was to the Heatles championship squads.
Everybody think that our most important player was Bron. Our most important player, not our best player, but our most important player was CB.
Yeah. Damn.
He was our most important player. Because if Bron went down, you could bring in D-Wade, and it's not the same player, but you're going to get similar results of what you're going to get out of the player. Making plays, he can go for 30. We couldn't simulate it. We ain't have another CB. If that went down and he got hurt, we didn't have another one of those.
And the way Spo started using him, too, was impossible to guard. Like, he was shooting threes. Like, he was.
That's why
that man was cold, brother.
He closed it out on threes as a big.
That's what I'm saying. And that was back when no
pop
one
threes,
did,
too.
no one did that.
Pick a pop three.
So shout out to Udonis Haslem with the I Like Dogs hat. Norris Cole, you played on those Heatles squad. So Bosh was more important to the Heatles than LeBron. Facts or cap?
It's not like a black and white answer because obviously Bron, everything started with Bron. But what UD said was correct. We ain't had nobody else like CB. If Bron went out, nobody is Bron, but D-Wade can put on a clinic and put 35, 40 up, get 8 assists for a couple series if we needed him to. If CB was out for too long, we had nobody else like him to create those mismatches. So in the context of what he's talking about, it's fact. It is a fact. Bron was our best player, but without CB, we don't win those champs because he's the only model like him on our team. No one was 6'9", 6'10", who could pick and pop, who could pick a short roll, who can also ISO, who can guard multiple positions, who can lead our small ball lineup. We ain't had nobody else like that. We just didn't. And if Bron, obviously, like I said, we all know who Bron is, but D-Wade is used to, it's easy for D-Wade to step up and do more. If, God forbid, something would have happened to Bron during the series or whatever. When we lost CB, we sustained as long as we could, but when he came back, we became unbeatable. Like, when he came back from when he tore his lower abdominal muscle, he was out for a stretch of games, we struggled. We made it happen, but we struggled. But when he came back, he came back playoff. We became unbeatable when he came back.
Okay. So, Kenya, Bosh was more important to the Heatles than LeBron. Facts or cap?
Keep it in context. I don't like how you keep saying it like that.
Yeah.
He ain't saying it like how you keep saying it. Like,
how do you want me to
you keep saying it like facts or cap. Like, is he more important than LeBron? Like,
just you articulate your point.
Okay. Because you hear how he said it?
He's a trickster,
he's a trickster, man.
We all saw the clip.
I can see what they're saying. Like, I understand it. Like, I get it. Like, he was a lot of people. He did create matchup problems because the way the game was going. So no, I think it's fact. So I'm not going. Because they were in it. So how can I dispute something when Norris was there and Udonis was there? Like,
and
how can I dispute anything when somebody else in real time? So no.
For sure. I'm not challenging you, Udonis Haslem. He has my respect.
Nah, because it's Bron-sexuals out there that every time
I'm a big LeBron fan. I'm just curious. That's why I asked you. You were there.
We got to be able to keep it real, y'all.
I'm a reasonable LeBron fan.
Nah, you are, but I'm just saying, there's others out there that's,
A lot of people got upset. They pointed out that Bosh missed, I think, nearly the entire Pacers series, first 4 games of the Eastern Conference Final in 2012.
We mentioned that.
Yeah, and team was still able to win.
Yeah, but we had to we had a series after that we needed to win.
Exactly.
That we don't win without CB1.
Exactly. Also but you got to talk about the Game 6.
Yeah.
Coming up with the block on Danny Green.
I'm trying to tell you.
To preserve that championship in clutch moments. So, Gil.
The whole style of play was different.
So I'll word it differently. Bosh is the most important part of the Heat Big Three. Facts or cap?
I play for the Wizards.
Okay. You are an astute basketball fan, scholar of the game, as some would say.
What team did he play on?
He played on the Miami Heat.
What team did UD play on?
Miami Heat.
What team did Mike Miller play on?
They were also a member of the Miami Heat.
What did all 3 of them say?
They all said that CB. So that's what you're rolling with?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the motherfuckers that was on the court with him, in the game with him. I'm not, I'm not gonna be somebody from the outside trying to convince the dudes that played on the game with him. Like, nah, he was important. Like, motherfucker, did you see our scout report? We know who was important. I'm not, no.
But I think in the context of how he presented it and how he framed it.
Listen, I don't care what context. He could have said it any way he wanted to. He was there. He was there. He was there. Right? So whatever the chat say, they wrong also. God damn it. This is the problem we having anyway with the media. We having a hard. How the fuck you gonna tell me who was harder to guard while I'm standing in front of the motherfucker?
Yeah.
I'm the one sitting there guarding. I'm telling you who was harder to guard. You're not gonna convince me the motherfucker who gave me 60 versus the dude who gave me 22.
Yeah.
Every game. So, yeah, whatever he said.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
We asked the chat, 64% of the chat called cap on Haslam. And just so you know, that 64%, we will be forwarding over your IP addresses to Udonis Haslam, and you will deal with that accordingly. But when it comes to Bosh being more important to the Heatles than LeBron,
facts.
So now let's move on. But you were talking about first person and
No. You
questioning
remember,
people who were there.
You remember when that little thing came out and it said it was CP3 and D Wade having a conversation, right? And they were talking about D Wade coming in, they're creating the big three, and everyone just assumed the big three was going to be Bosh. I mean, there was going to be CP3, Wade, and Bron. And I was like, yeah. Now, my research had told me that after that series they lost to Dallas and everybody was talking about Bron. They made Bron Scottie Pippen. It didn't look well. Bosh played well. Dwayne Wade played well. And they're trying to figure out if they can do this with Bron. And him and,
D had a conversation.
They were having a big debate on power. And they reached out and there was open ears to if there was going to be some trades. And that trade was not Bosh at the time. It was going to be for LeBron. It was either going to go get Dwight Howard, because what's the name, loved Dwight, and having Bosh and Dwight back there with Wade or CP3, Bosh and Wade, and everybody thought I was stupid. Now you hear players over there like, yeah, Bosh was way more important. Like, you can see what everybody was thinking at that time. Even though, sometimes it's kind of hard to really quantify what players bring. But sometimes even when we're playing, we're like, damn, just like I'd rather be on the court with dude because it makes it look easier for me versus that happens too. When you have Bron and Russell, like I want AR. I don't want Russell on. Me and Russell the
style don't match.
Our styles don't match.
Right.
Give me AR, and we over here looking like, he averaging triple-double, he Hall of Famer, but certain players have different things when they're out there together.
Exactly.
That's all.
I'm merely a host. I will take these gentlemen at their word.
That's why it's amazing. That's why fans, these player podcasts are very important to history itself, because you get the player's perspective. You get what the player said, how the player felt in that moment. You get his real emotions. You get what he was thinking in real time, it's still a reflection, but you get to hear from their standpoint, like, especially like with the George Karl, like, y'all, you didn't do nothing for us. You actually hurt our chances because we envied you the whole time. So, we coming in the game, thinking about like, oh, if this nigga just leave and let everybody open up, we can win, right? So when you hear it from the player's perspective, you really get a real feel of how the game was during that time versus what media was saying.
Absolutely.
And that's why, the player's voice is very important today in real time, so you can really get a sense of how the game was playing, how we reflecting on the stories we tell.
So shout out to all the player podcasts, but especially Gil's Arena presented by Underdog Fantasy. Whoop, whoop.